They're not even halfway through with all of
it. If we're talking about YouTubes that we watch every week, I watch plug our friend of the show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians, yeah.
Every single week, they're going through Star Trek: The Next Generation. They are, oh man, I did not realize how poor Star Trek: The Next Generation started. Like the way they talk about some of these episodes, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, they watch it so you don't have to. It's a nice. Exactly. The sacrifice is not unappreciated. So
I am happy to plug our friends. Go check out Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I'm making them sounds. People are probably
I'd hardly noticed.
Wow, maturity has...
And now we know why we have no listeners.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Kardashians. We're going to keep up with you. Or you're going to keep up with us. Because this is Keeping Up with the Kardashians. This is Nick.
This is Rob.
This is Joe.
Welcome to our humble little podcast where we talk about pop culture news, including movies, video games, TV shows, music.
Ambiguously gay jokes.
Ambiguously gay jokes.
Art.
Comics. Art. Toys. And this week, we continue our review of Star Trek: The Next Generation. We're reviewing 2 episodes this week. The Measure of a Man and The Dauphin.
The Dolphin?
The Dauphin. The Dauphin. The Dauphin?
Dauphin, I think.
Dauphin? Dauphin. It's French.
It's French?
It's French, yes.
Jesus Christ.
So
I apologize to all our French listeners, but not our deaf listeners.
Oh my gosh, you just doubled down.
That's a triple down, actually.
You're just like, how much can I piss people off? Let's wait until a minute into the show and really just seal the deal.
You know when you announced that we were the Kardashians and as the show, welcome to the Okay, so I feel like we could mirror Keeping Up with the Kardashians because after Keeping Up with the Kardashians, they went to Netflix or whatever, and it was called The Kardashians.
So we could just we could start another series called The Kardashians.
Yeah, we're going to end this show. After TNG, Keeping Up with the Kardashians is over. We're getting canceled. But we're going to come back as the Kardashians.
And it's the exact same show. Nothing's changed. Oh my gosh. Yes, let's do it. It's like Roseanne when it got canceled and they brought it back as the Connors.
Yeah, the Connors.
They
rebranded it.
We'll just kill off one of you. Who wants to get killed off? Any of you?
No.
None of you? Okay. Anyways, today's a great day, you guys. We have an interview that we're going to do with someone on our podcast today.
Not just somebody.
Not just anybody. Their name is Jenny Johnson, and she is an incredible artist.
That is not even a good enough description of what she can do with oil.
Exactly.
It's just it's incredible. It's
beyond Star Trek too. It's nerd culture. It's sci-fi. It's
that Cheers
sitcom.
piece is lights out.
She had a Golden Girls piece.
I know.
Oh, the Golden Girls piece was like one of my favorites. Actually, I would totally buy that one. That was great.
I love the Cheers when we're leaning across the bar. Mm-hmm. Oh man, it's incredible stuff. And we talk about it, but the DS9 piece, is one of the most impressive things I've seen.
Go to her Instagram to see that piece. It's worth the journey.
I mean, you get everything. Like she's got all kinds of art, and I'm sure she'll probably tell us more about that once we get the chance to interview with her. But if you just look on our websites, there's stuff from The Mandalorian, there's stuff from Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, Indiana Jones, Cheers, Supernatural, Mad Max, Doctor Who. Battlestar Galactica, Aliens, Back to the Future. I mean, all kinds of stuff, folks. So, but we'll get to that interview in just a little bit. But before we get there, we got a couple things that we want to talk with you about, and we just feel like it's important. But here's the thing: you have to make us a promise before we talk about these things. You know what that promise is? Our promise is that you followed us on Instagram at keeping_up_Kardashians. That you followed us at Kardashians Pod on Twitter. I'm not calling it X because no. That you follow us on Meta. That you follow us on Facebook. That you follow us on YouTube at Kardashians.
I like how you won't call it X, but you'll call it Meta. You'll call Facebook Meta.
Well, meta is the threads, right?
Can you pronounce it meta?
No,
Meta?
threads is the threads.
Threads
Meta is the all-encompassing. Yeah.
So threads is Facebook's version of Twitter.
Yes.
Okay. So follow us on threads.
Or Instagram's
Threads
version of
is
it.
Instagram's version of
I
Twitter.
mean, they're all the same. I don't even know anymore. It's just
And X is Elon Musk's version of Twitter.
If you're listening to this or watching this, like, subscribe, all that jazz, because it helps us out. I hear.
We'd love to have it. And call us, too. Leave us a voicemail. Leave us a text message. 734-494-0980.
But
only if it's complimentary, because I'm getting sick. I'm getting sick of all the criticism.
Okay, can we read these texts that we got? We got some. Wait. Hold on. We gotta make sure we're ready to go.
Open hailing frequencies.
Okay.
Nice.
Hailing frequencies are open. We have a couple messages. They're so great. They're so great.
Do you have? Why don't you read them? Do you have them up?
I can read it. So we got.
Yeah, why don't you read them? Because
we got a response message.
I'm sick of this shit.
So we read a message last week about that Joe getting basically, shredded for his poor takes on his inability to understand fake science. And one of the comments,
one of my favorite quotes.
One of the fans, one of the comments was, as a comic and a burgeoning sci-fi fan,
as a comedian and a burgeoning sci-fi fan, right?
And they replied back, and their text says, to clarify, I did mean Joe as a comic fan and a burgeoning sci-fi fan.
What the hell do they know?
Not like Joe is a comic. He's not.
Thank God.
I am so sorry for my accidental implication of Joe's humor.
That's hurtful. That's so hurtful.
I love how our viewer feedback is really just becoming on hate on Joe.
It's my favorite pastime now.
It's really the greatest things.
Well, here's the thing. Joe reading that comic thing, we'd never hear the end of it if it was like comedy thing.
What are you talking about? I would be incredibly humble, and I would never bring it up every podcast.
Every podcast. Hey guys, I'm a comic.
Yeah, as the resident comedian of the podcast, I think you guys should stay in your lanes.
Oh my gosh. Just freaking.
I would get a t-shirt made of it as a comic and burgeoning sci-fi fan.
You should just that quote, get it put on the shirt and just walk around with it. That'd be great. And then
what the hell? They don't know anything.
And then Samira sent us a message as well. And she basically said, he sounds like Joe needs some positivity, less hate text, more memes. So
yeah.
So Samira's on your side.
I would venture to guess that she does think I'm a comedian.
I would.
That's what I would guess.
Funny looking. Hey.
Funny is funny. I don't care.
I don't know if that's what it meant.
Somebody text and say I'm funny.
No,
it's really all I want. I don't care about anything in life. I really don't. All I want is for somebody to laugh at my jokes and say that I'm funny. That's all I want. And this is a plea to all our listeners.
Now, if they've seen,
it would save my life.
If they've seen Behind the Pod, they would have laughed.
Yeah, but not because I was funny, just at the ridiculousness of it all. While the laughs are still fill me with joy.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
I tried to get Warburglar on that too, and he was a little busy at the time.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah,
you guys.
Oh, it's crazy. My schedule's packed.
You guys,
in the exact same time frame that you need me.
Breaking news: a new text just came into our phone number.
No way!
I am not even kidding.
What do we? Is this in real?
We just got.
Are we live? Is this real time?
New text message. It says, "You are funny." See, you are funny. Someone texted in, "You are funny."
That's your number.
Dang it! It was my phone number. It doesn't matter. He didn't specify.
But you were probably talking about yourself. Is it a reminder? Is it like a self note?
You are funny,
Nick.
You are good
liked.
enough. You are liked.
People like you.
Gosh darn it. People like you.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, Lord. Oh, goodness gracious. So there's that.
At least people just.
I don't want to go right into our interview today, so I'm curious. What have you guys... Oh, my gosh. Rob forgot to hook up the video.
Of course you did.
Rob.
Yeah, audio for the video.
But we have the audio, so we can audio the audio
okay.
and the video.
Okay, well
we can video audio the audio.
There you go. Before we dive into that interview, though, what's happened this week, gentlemen? Anything fun or exciting happened this week?
No.
What? You said you had ideas.
Oh, well, I do. Okay. I watched 2 brand new things this week.
Oh my gosh!
And one of them was a Snyder cut, essentially.
Oh dear.
Oh wow.
What is that?
Oh yeah.
The roast of Tom Brady was 2 hours 40 minutes.
Yeah,
that's longer than that, wasn't it? Was it
I
closer to 3?
It was on the northern side of 2.5 hours, between 2.5 and 3 hours.
It was the Canadian side in honor of our guest this week.
It was.
Wow.
And I watched that, which was brand new. I think it came out like last Sunday, I think.
Yeah.
And I also watched Baby Reindeer, which is less than a month old.
Yeah, it is. It's only a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. What made you watch it? Was it all the things you saw on social media about
Carson Anderson?
No, a girlfriend.
Oh, was Carson Anderson talking about it?
Yeah.
No, Tara had watched it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And she had already seen the whole thing. She's like, I think you would really like this show. I'm
Do
like,
you have to question her now?
No, because I actually do like the show. I hate I hate the main character. I think. I mean, I don't want to go into it, but I've never watched a show where I really enjoyed the show. It's 7 episodes and they're a half hour long, and I almost watched it in one night. Wow. Because I was just like, okay, I got to watch the next one. I want to see what happens. Like, it was that good, that engaging.
It was. Or is.
But I found myself being more and more infuriated with the main character's decisions. And there's some things. It's about this guy, this Scottish comedian who is trying to like jumpstart his comedy career and ends up getting stalked by this woman.
Yeah.
And it goes into how this becomes from like just like a kind of weird girl that comes into the bar every day to this crazy stuff. And this is a real story. This isn't like it's a true story. And the guy who I think it's Richard Gadd is the actor.
Yes.
And he's the comedian. He's the person who it actually happened to, and he's also the actor in the series. So he's acting out, and there's a lot of traumatic events, things that are really difficult and kind of hard to watch in this series. And he's re-portraying them as an actor, which is really unique.
That's things that happen to him. Yeah. Terrible things.
Yeah, and in that regard, it made me feel very sympathetic and feel sorry for this character.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he kept reigniting all of these bad things that happened to him by making bad decision after bad decision.
Oh, yeah.
And I just found myself so frustrated because this could have been 4 episodes and he could have nipped it in the bud. But I don't know. It was really well acted by both Gadd and I forget the actress's name who played the stalker, but she was really good.
Yeah.
It was just really good. And you're almost done with it, right, Nick?
I'm
like
almost
5
done.
episodes in or something.
Yeah, I got 2 episodes left.
It's the last 2 episodes are really good. So I
will say
I would finish it sooner than later.
The woman who is the actual woman, her name is Fiona Harvey. She's going to sue Netflix and Richard Gadd over this, saying it was a work of fiction and it never actually happened.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I mean, isn't there actual police reports? I'm assuming.
I would hope so.
You would think so.
I mean, I'm assuming so. I mean, she sent more than 41,071 emails, 350 hours of voicemail, 744 tweets, 46 Facebook messages, and 106 pages of letters.
It's insane.
And she said there may have been a couple of emails, and later said there were less than 10 emails.
That's a big disparagement. 10, less than 10, so we're talking 8, 9 emails to 40,000.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The math is a little fuzzy.
Yeah, that's what's the exchange rate in Scotland?
I do not know. Let me find out who the actress was who plays Martha, though, because it would be nice to lift up her name because she did a
fantastic job.
Her name was her actual. Where is it? Oh my gosh! Why am I not finding it?
You ever try IMDb?
Shut up! Yeah. I'm going there now. I'm on there, and her name is. Gosh, the problem with IMDb is there's so many pop-ups. Jessica Gunning is her name.
Jessica Gunning. She was fantastic.
She's gunning for an award.
Yes.
She did a magnificent job. I mean, she was. I mean, the range that she had was like there were parts where you did feel sorry for her, and you
absolutely,
and you felt very, I felt a lot of empathy and
her
sympathy
at the
for
bus
him.
stop when she's
But then,
just sitting there.
I mean, she was also like downright menacing and horrifically scary at some points.
Oh yeah, she was fantastic.
She did great job.
Worth watching, sir. Worth watching.
And then the roast of Tom Brady.
Wow,
which was a fucking marathon.
It was so I watched it in chunks in order to try to get it all in before today, because I knew we'd probably end up talking about it. And was that the only one that thought that Tom Brady didn't know what was really going on half the time?
That's what we were saying. We're like, he has this almost expressionless look on his face, like he's a robot.
Yeah, he's like, I think I'm supposed to laugh, but like some of these guys were really, really good, and he was just like,
yeah.
Well, and the Robert Kraft stuff was weird. Like when they made the jokes about him, and like he went over and told him to stop making jokes.
Well, there was only one joke, and it was
Jeff Ross.
It was Jeff Ross.
Yeah,
and he knew he wasn't supposed to do it.
But like, why is that off limits? Like that is messed up.
It's probably just the one rule.
It's the one rule.
But that's messed up.
Well, they always. I mean, I watched an interview with Anthony Jeselnik, who was not at the roast, but who has
How
done.
great would that have been?
Oh my God. He said he doesn't really feel that bad that he didn't get invited, but it would have been epic.
Yes, it would have been.
But he's done several roasts, and he always kills. And he says that there's always something that, okay, you guys can't. You can joke about just about anything. Here are the things that are off limits. But the point he made, and the point that I would make, which differentiates the Brady roast versus most of the Comedy Central roasts, is the Brady roast was live. It was a live stream. Now they've edited some of it out.
Have they?
Yes.
Oh,
like
really?
the booze to Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian was booed relentlessly.
Yeah,
really?
And they edited most of them
all
out.
of it out.
Wow.
Yeah. Like she couldn't even speak. They were booing her so much.
But
my gosh, I came unplugged.
But that Jeff Ross joke, that's a joke that would have got edited out, because Jeff does that at every roast.
Oh, really?
He'll joke about the thing you're not supposed to joke about, and Comedy Central just edits that out, and it's seamless.
Wow.
But what pisses me off about that is then later on, he got up there and made jokes. The Robert Kraft. He got up there and roasted some people.
Yeah, but he didn't joke about getting massages. Yeah, that was the one. It was the one thing.
You can make fun of Robert Kraft, but not about the handy.
Yeah.
Why? It happened in the news, man. Like, you're a billionaire. Shut up.
I don't
Deal
know.
with it. I just feel like, you know what? Have a thicker skin, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. But what did you
For children.
What did you think of it? Overall,
I really enjoyed it. I thought there were some people that were on fire during it. Like Nikki Glaser did a fantastic job.
Nikki Glaser was so
She's
good.
always
I
good
think
in
I think she won the night. I think she was my number
She's one of my
She's
favorite
never shined like
roasters.
that.
I know, but
on these roasts.
when I've seen her in roast, she's always my favorite.
She is very good in roasts. This is what we were talking about. Nikki Glaser to me is very good in roasts, and I don't find her actual stand-up comedy as hard-hitting, as funny.
Right.
She's good. She's smart. She's very smart. She can write a joke. She can deliver it. She has great timing.
Yeah.
But I feel like her roasts are where she really shines.
Gotcha.
I think that's how I came to know who she was.
The roast.
Yeah. Her roast.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I came. That's how Jeselnik. I came to know Jeselnik. Even Jeff Ross, I think, was.
Yeah. No one knows who Jeff Ross is beyond.
I find Jeff Ross to be incredibly overrated. If I'm being honest, I didn't think he was. I thought he was okay at best.
Yeah.
I thought he did a decent job on it.
Who else did you think?
I'm drawing a blank right now.
So did you like the guy who it's Tony Hinchcliffe?
The guy with a weird haircut?
No, that's Andrew Schultz.
No, I didn't really.
Hinchcliffe was the guy that was sitting by Dana White.
Yeah, he was.
And started, and then he.
I thought he was okay.
Oh my god, I thought he was almost as good as Glazer. He was hilarious.
Different opinion, obviously.
Yeah.
But I thought the guy with the funny haircut was better than
Andrew Schultz. He's funny.
Yeah, weird haircut though, man. I don't know if I can get past that. I'm shallow, man.
It's a weird haircut.
That's a weird haircut.
And then who was the
I like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning coming out was awesome.
Well, so is Drew Bledsoe.
Poor Drew Bledsoe. My
I felt
God.
like that was like kind of half the roast of Drew Bledsoe.
I know.
Well, like I pulled up some of the jokes from it. Here's the Drew Bledsoe joke. Tom, I'm really glad that you enjoyed all this amazing success with the team that I built. Super effing happy for you, bud. Like, I love that. Jeff Ross. Here's a good one by Jeff Ross. Tom, your teammates are all here at the beautiful sold out Los Angeles Forum. By the way, is also how Rob Gronkowski counts to 5. I thought it was kind of a roast of Rob Gronkowski.
All the jokes about. I thought Gronkowski was terrible.
I thought he was awful.
I thought he was terrible.
Was
he was trying and a little bit full of himself. I wrote that.
Who is the?
I wrote that.
Hinchcliffe is the guy who had the joke about Gronkowski being the reason that they were all out of chocolate milk in the in the back. Oh my god!
I actually thought some of the best stuff was at Gronkowski because he did look like he didn't know what was going on too.
Yeah.
Nikki Glazer, like the crypto joke.
Yeah.
Me know that no real money.
Kevin Hart's reaction to that joke was worth that joke alone.
Yeah, I thought Kevin Hart did a great job hosting.
Yeah, he did somebody else's not long ago, and he did a good job at that too.
The Sam J one about the strap on.
I thought Sam J was
Sam
good.
J was very good.
Oh
yes.
my gosh!
I didn't know who.
I had no idea who she was.
No, but I'm pleasant to know who she is now.
I thought she was like joke after joke, and they were all funny. They were all laughs. They were very. I don't think there might have been like one that I was like, oh okay. I thought she was fantastic.
Obviously, Bill Belichick doesn't do this for a living, but I thought he was great, even though he stuttered through it a little bit and everything.
Yeah,
I still think a lot of his jokes landed.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
He doesn't have obviously the timing and delivery of these other people.
Who do you think was the best non-comedian?
Julie, I liked Edelman.
Edelman was kind of funny because he
went after
went into the whole
Bill
thing.
Belichick.
Yeah.
He was.
It was
good.
ballsy of Belichick to be there. To be honest with you, that's a ballsy move by him because of
everything.
He's probably the most hated guy there, really, in the long run. But
I mean, they wouldn't have won.
They should say thank you also at the same time.
Well, that's kind of what it was, right? I mean, the joke Edelman made about him being lucky to coach at a high school was great.
Did you guys know that he was caught on a Ring camera like a week prior, or maybe less than a week prior? Yeah, leaving a college student's house shirtless.
No, that's what that joke was about.
Yes.
Okay.
Which once I realized that, I'm like, okay, that was a gamble for him to be there.
It was a gamble for him to be there regardless.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking at some of these jokes. The Tom Brady, I didn't see this one. I'll always remember where I was that fateful day in September of 2001 when tragically those two jets slammed in the Drew place.
Yeah,
That's a very good joke.
Yes, it is.
And he admitted to Deflategate.
Yeah,
which is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
he did.
That's past statute of limitations.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
What are they going to do? Suspend him?
Yeah. It's fun. Which, I mean, we all knew that.
Yeah, my favorite ring is the camera that caught Belichick slinking out of that poor girl's house at 6 a.m. a few months ago. Hey, you still got it.
I mean, he's like 70 something.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a trip.
It was, but he was shirtless. It was like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for
I don't know. It was a good roast.
That's a good roast.
I would watch it. Split it up into chunks if you can, because it's 240.
Yeah, it's a long one. Well, that's cool. So speaking of fun things, we should probably move on to the next fun thing. We're going to be interviewing someone great. We're going to be interviewing Jenny Johnson. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a very quick commercial break. Yes, Joe, I said it. We're going to take a quick commercial break because when we come back, we're going to be interviewing Jenny. All right. So we'll be right back, folks, and you'll get to hear from Jenny Johnson. All right. So we have a special guest here today. We have an artist that I've been following for a while on Twitter and all those social media places. And I've been wanting to have her on the podcast. We have the amazing Jenny Johnson on the show today. So welcome, Jenny.
Thank you for having me. I'm so stoked to be here.
We're so excited to have you on here. And like I said, I've been following your artwork for a while. It's been a couple years, actually. I send these guys links all the time. I'm like, look at this. Look at what she's doing.
And he's always said, we should get her on the show. We should get her on the show. And finally we did.
Yeah, finally.
I'm so glad. Thank you.
It only took me a couple of years, but we did it.
That's your timeline.
We did it. We did
a good job.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we were looking through your portfolio the other day, and we see that you cover a wide range of pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
Where does your heart gravitate towards in terms of pop culture? Where is your biggest love?
I mean, Star Trek without question. Like
Yeah.
that's my lighthouse, my home base, my
Yes.
yeah. I mean, that's where it all started too,
Okay.
Like that's like all of my genre interests kind of came from there.
Came from Star Trek.
Mhm.
Okay.
How'd you get into Trek?
I like many people, I used to watch the TOS reruns in Canada. They were on Saturday mornings on CBC. And I would watch it with my dad. Like I was really little and it was often kind of like a little scary or, I didn't entirely understand what was happening, but he loved it. So I was like,
Yeah.
this is clearly something that's awesome and cool. So yeah, so I watched it with him when I was little, and then I kind of wasn't really, I think was I eight, I think, when TNG came on, and I don't even know that we had like the channels that it was on. So it wasn't until around the time I was about 12 that I was flipping through the channels and I saw LeVar Burton, who I knew from reading Rainbow, and I was like, wait a minute. This is that new Star Trek show. Oh, cool, And then a little while later, I happened to be flipping through and I saw it again, and it was Skin of Evil. Oddly enough.
Oh gosh.
But I watched the whole episode, and it's Tasha's funeral at the end. Spoilers.
Yeah.
And
Oh man.
and I'm and I'm crying, and I'm like so invested in these characters. And from then on, I watched every single day. I started, recording it on VHS.
Yeah.
5 days a week, and I started watching the new episodes as they were coming out, and I was just like, it was just this entirely new universe for me, like literally. Yeah.
So if you had to pick one series, would it be TNG?
Yes.
Little hesitation. All right.
Well, I hate, I mean, God, how do you choose? Yes. If I had to choose one, yes.
Okay.
Because that's just where my heart lies, but yeah, there's 900 hours of Star Trek.
Yeah, it's
very hard to.
I think I read that it's of all the franchises out there, it has the most media out in the world, like by far, not even close.
Even more than Doctor Who?
I think it's close.
Yeah.
Because Doctor Who is huge, but Doctor Who also, I don't know, Doctor Who had that like big break between.
But it had a big break, and they also don't do 24 episodes a season, right?
Yeah.
Doctor Who, because in Great Britain and England, they do like 10 episode seasons. Series. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think Star Trek might be more. I'm gonna have to look that up.
We have to Google that later.
We're gonna have to look that up. That's an important thing we have to find out. So then you said Next Generation is your favorite. What would you put as in, what are some other genre, what other shows are ones that really speak to you?
Like outside of Star Trek?
Yeah.
Well, Doctor Who, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, I just finished 12 Monkeys, and I am just like,
I've heard that's
blown
incredible.
Away. It's so good. It is so good.
Yeah.
Lost. I'm a big Lost.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
your Not Penny's Boat piece is fantastic.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that one was in my head for a very long time. Like, this has to be a painting.
Yeah. It's a good painting. Yeah.
Thank you. You. Yeah. What else? Oh gosh, there's so much. Like, I'm like looking. I'm looking
Look around. What is your artworok? Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, I'm a MASH fan. Oh God, Stargate.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, Stargate, SG-1.
Yeah.
I watched 12 seasons.
I used to love Stargate SG-1. Yes.
Now I feel a little bad for making fun of it all the time.
The Stargate is pretty hilarious because in Star Trek you have like, here's the prime directive, we can't help you. And in Stargate they basically go to their planet and they're like, all your gods are fake. Here's some guns.
Yeah, exactly.
Very different.
This is how you fight them. Yeah, yes, exactly.
This is how you kill all of them.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of fun. And it's Richard Dean Anderson. So like you can't go wrong. It's MacGyver.
Yeah. And who it turns out is a like lovely human too, which is
really?
It's always very nice to like find that out,
Isn't Richard Dean Anderson a fellow Canadian though?
No,
or am I making that up?
I think he's from Minnesota. I think he actually is like, he's like
version of Canada.
That's like diet Canada right there.
Yeah, Canada adjacent.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of counts.
It's like the UP. It's right there.
It's the same idea. It's the same idea. So how long have you been painting?
21 years this year.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I went to art school a little late. Like it took me a few years after I graduated from high school to kind of get around to putting a portfolio together. But I learned, like, I was traditionally trained as an oil painter. Yeah.
Okay.
And I spent many years painting scenery and sailboats, and I'm on the east coast of Canada, and family portraits for people, and all of that kind of stuff. And I had like a lot of success in selling my work, but it just was never, I don't know, it was never like a passion for me.
Okay.
Subject matter. Mm-hmm.
So what made you switch into what you paint today?
Well, I realized after, I can't remember how many years, but quite a while, good 10 years or so, that I'd never painted anything just for myself, and I thought, okay, well, what would be a cool thing to paint? So I made myself a 3-foot by 4-foot painting of the interior of the 11th Doctor's TARDIS. Just like super detailed, because it's that like crazy like orange and like just with all the stairs and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And and I just happened to post it on my Facebook, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm making this painting for behind my couch, and people really responded. I thought, oh, I'm having fun with this and people like it. And then my partner saw that I was doing that and, knew I could do portraits. And he was like, well, what about, maybe for my birthday, could you paint me like, the scene from Stand By Me that I really like? And I was like,
I saw that one too. I like that one. Yeah.
So I did that. And then again, I just got all of this like really positive feedback from all kinds of people. And there's a local convention here in Halifax called HalCon. And I had a couple of friends who were involved in it, and they were like, you should like make some more of these paintings and come and like sell your work. And that's basically what I did. I just kind of launched into painting like what was it, like 12 or 14 paintings for that first year with HalCon. And it was like so fun, because I got to sit down and just be like, what would I what would I like to see? Like what is a painting that I want to see? So I just made this whole series of stuff that I love.
Yes.
And that I'm excited about, starting actually with the poker game. That was like the first one.
That was the first one?
That was like, without question, I was like, this is a painting that needs to be made. Like,
now Joe here, he is a new Star Trek person. We started this podcast with DS9 because I'm a huge fan. Nick wasn't a fan as much at the time.
Like it, yeah.
And we brought Joe in as a virgin.
Awesome.
So I've seen DS9,
all the original
series movies, and
the reboot movies,
and up through the middle part of season 2 of TNG. Yeah. So.
Oh wow. Are you struggling through the first couple of seasons of TNG?
Yeah, that's putting it nicely.
Well, you mentioned Skin of Evil.
There's some gold in there. Yeah.
You mentioned Skin of Evil earlier. This man did not have kind words for that episode. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think that's revisionist history. I think what I said was it was amazing, and I felt very moved.
Brought the tears.
Yeah, exactly.
But so he doesn't understand the significance of that poker scene that you painted.
In fact,
right.
In fact, this week we're reviewing The Measure of a Man, which is the first episode they play poker.
Yep. Yes. That's right. So that's so cool.
You're going to start to see why poker becomes important in this.
Yeah.
Okay. What does this turn into, the World Series of Poker?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The World Federation of Poker.
Yeah. They just abandon the Prime Directive and just start playing poker in Vegas. It's pretty cool.
The Enterprise becomes a casino.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, gosh,
that sounds about right.
I would go to that though. It's like
the real tone shift in season 3.
It gets wild.
Yeah, they brought on new writers and directors.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite painting you've ever done?
That's difficult. I don't know. I mean, that one, honestly, like I think that's the one that is like definitely like the closest to my heart. It meant the most to me.
Yeah.
Like that episode and that scene. Like I was so sad when the show ended. Like I started watching that show when I like had been being bullied and I didn't have any friends, and I was like, and that was my family. They were my, they were my people. So saying goodbye to that, to that crew was devastating.
Yeah.
But the way they ended it with them, like, it was just, so I mean, I hung on to that for like 30 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, so getting to paint that and kind of like have that moment was, it just meant so much to me. Like,
I will argue with anybody that that's one of the best final episodes of any show ever.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
It's a beautiful episode. It culminates all the characters' journeys. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. Brings back the first episode Q, like that's
right.
Spoilers. Sorry.
Sorry. It's really difficult to live a spoiler-free life.
They blow up the Enterprise and everyone dies.
When you haven't watched a property that's been around for almost 40 years.
I know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Did pretty well for myself.
Yeah, you did.
You did. Yeah.
So I understand the significance of TNG because I was the same way. With it, watching my parents, one of the few things we could watch together, and that show meant a lot to me at the time too. So I totally understand.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's lots of paintings that I've made that I'm like, ooh, that's a good one. Oh yeah, like the Far Beyond the Stars piece.
Yes. Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Cisco in the window. Yeah, like that. That for me was just it. Like technically and sort of creatively, that was so cool to do, and I'm so proud of it. So there's definitely ones like that where there's just certain parts of it that I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that.
I've seen that one many times, and I've always wondered, how did you get the reflection field of that? Just the see-through part.
I don't know. I don't know. I pay really, really close attention to color and light and shapes when I'm painting. So I'm not thinking about, okay, I need to make Cisco's head see-through or reflect, but also reflective at the same time. Like I'm not thinking about, this is an eyeball, this is an ear. Like I'm looking at the shapes and I'm trying to recreate those shapes and those colors in the most accurate way possible.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know how to like explain it properly, but so it's kind of shutting down the part of my brain that's telling me what I'm painting and just focusing on color, really.
Yeah.
Well, that's really so I'm a novice artist.
Right
level. I like to do it for fun when I get a chance. And
that's awesome.
I could never color. So me trying to wrap my head around not only oil painting, getting that transparent look, I was like, how do you even do this? Not only can you put the color red on there accurately, but you can do this too. I'm like, this is real.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah. Like color for me, when I first started painting, all of my portraits, all of my people look like corpses. Like I just couldn't figure out, I couldn't figure out skin tone because I had this idea in my head, like this is skin, this is the color of skin. Like this is, these are the colors I need to mix to make it. And as soon as I let go of that, and I was like, what colors am I seeing here?
Yeah.
There's a shadow under the eye. It's blue. There's, there's a reflection from this. It's green. It's really, really, I don't know. It's fascinating to me. It's just.
Oh, absolutely. It is.
I do not have that skill.
No.
I'd be very popular at like Corpse Con because that would be all my pictures. They all look like dead people.
I thought you're the corpse artist.
You're
the corpse artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. I feel like there's a market for that,
There probably is, unfortunately. I don't know if you want to hang out with those people though.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you.
Nick, my uncle died last week. Can you paint him?
Too soon. Yeah. Oh dear.
As he is now, Nick. As he is now.
Is there a sort of painting that you don't like? Are you like, do you avoid acrylic painting, or I know oil is your specialty, but is there one where you're like, I hate this style and I'm not going to do it ever?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an abstract artist by any means.
Yeah.
And in terms of in terms of materials, once I was introduced to oil painting, like I said goodbye to acrylics forever.
Yeah.
And I actually did a piece a couple of years back that I had to use acrylic for, and I was just like, because it dries so fast and you're trying to mix it and it's all like plasticky and weird. like oil is oil paint.
Yeah. Is it more forgiving on the material?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I know people who paint with acrylic who are like, oh my God, I hate oil paint. It never dries. It's So I mean, it's all about what you're comfortable with. But yeah, oil, I feel like it is because there's room for for blending that's more difficult with acrylic. I don't know. It's just it's just so buttery and lovely. I love it. Yeah,
Is there anything that you haven't painted yet that you would like to?
Oh my God.
And you're just waiting on the commission?
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing. Over the last couple of years, I've been doing so many commissions, which is a very good problem to have. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. But it's definitely made it so I can't get to certain projects that I have really, really been wanting to. Yeah, like I want to do a Stargate piece. I want to paint Stargate. I've had a Home Alone piece in my head for
oh my God,
years that I just haven't gotten around to doing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what else? Like more Doctor Who, because I mean there's so many, there's so many doctors and there's so many companions and just so many amazing moments in that show. And I've barely scratched the surface. So that's another one that I'm just like, oh, I'm desperate to do. I want to paint Data. Oh God. I want to paint something from Enterprise. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
I could go on.
Joe, I noticed there was no Seinfeld in there. I'm sorry. No Seinfeld. Right. Yeah.
Honestly, that's on my list too. That's like on my.
Yeah. So you just have to get a commission. You just have to.
I'll have to.
Did I see on your website you're booking through 2025 for commission?
Yes, and I actually need to because I'm officially booked a year out now, and I need to actually put a pause on it because I'm like, hey, things could happen in a year. I need to actually not overcommit myself. So yeah, so I actually have to put a little pause on it. But I have so many exciting projects that people have commissioned me to do that I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
Like what percentage of your time is allocated to commissions versus projects that you have in your head that you want to get to at some point?
These days, it's 100 to 0 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all commissions right now, which is again, it's really great, especially because the commissions that I'm getting are in line with things that I want to do, and I'm actually in a position now to kind of be able to say no to some things that aren't really like things that I'm vibing with, So so it's nice. I mean, I've got, even just in the next few months, I've got I'm doing the shawarma scene from Avengers. I'm doing a Battlestar Galactica piece. Oh, Battlestar Galactica, that's another one. Oh my God.
That's my show right there.
Yeah.
My favorite.
So I'm doing a big 4 feet, actually the same as the Enterprise that I've started. There was a promo that they did for season 4 with them all in set up like the Last Supper.
Oh yeah.
So I'm painting that.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
I think you got a buyer right here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then more, oh gosh, what else? Those two, this one, Shawarma, Battlestar Galactica, another Avengers one. I'm doing Gandalf riding up to Minas Tirith, Lord of the Rings. That's another. Yeah, I'm doing Federation headquarters from Homefront in Deep Space Nine. There's a cool shot that's partly a model, partly a matte painting, and then partly digital. So I'm doing a piece. Anyway, there's a bunch. There's a lot of Star Trek coming up.
Yes. Well, that's exciting. And I see, speaking of Star Trek, I see you have a beautiful DS9 painting behind you, and you just finished that one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How long did that take you?
How long did that take me? I'm gonna say it was somewhere in the range of 50 hours.
Oh wow.
50, 60.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's just so much tiny detail.
Yeah.
And it's 15 by 30, so it's big, but it's not massive. So there was a lot of really, really, really fine work involved, but it was so fun.
Yeah.
And doing that detail, I'm so excited about it.
Such a beautiful piece.
And that was a commission piece for you as well? Okay.
Yes.
Whoever commissioned you for that, if you're listening, thank you.
Do they
that's wonderful.
Do they still want it?
Yes, very much so.
Are you sure? Dibs.
Dang it. Mm-hmm. What if it just magically went missing from your place?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
yeah.
You know,
long drive though.
I'm sure you have insurance, right?
yeah.
Oh goodness.
So I was watching you paint that kind of on your Instagram, and that's when I messaged Nick. I'm like, we got to make this happen, man, because watching that get form, I was like, this is impressive.
Yeah, it very much is. It very much is.
Thank you. Yeah. And I was really lucky with that piece because a friend of mine is a VFX artist who he's worked on like Battlestar Blood and Chrome. He's worked on the Orville. He's worked on why can't I think of words? Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interviews.
Actually, he probably would. Matt Boardman. Yeah. And he also has been doing some work with the Roddenberry archive.
Okay.
So he has access to not just 3D models, but like accurate, like the screen accurate 3D models. So he was able to give me and help me like work out the composition.
Yeah.
But also give me this like super high def, like amazing model of Deep Space Nine and the Defiant to work on.
Wow.
Right.
The paint job on the Defiant is like approved by Mike Okuda. Like it's just
no way.
Yeah. So I'm really, really fortunate. And that's also what I'm able to do with the Enterprise that I'm working on now.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. It's wonderful. Like it's a real help because a lot of so many of the references that I'm working with are screenshots, and especially from 90s Trek and especially the ones that didn't get remastered. The quality is iffy. And in some cases that can be like an interesting artistic challenge, but when you're working with ships, you want it to be as accurate as possible.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I never thought about that when you look back to early 90s Trek and like VHS copies.
Yeah. You're trying to work off screenshots.
Yeah.
No,
it's not easy.
Yeah, definitely.
Did they ever remaster TNG?
They did.
Yeah, on Blu-ray.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, they did. And actually, my friend Matt worked on that too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's DS9 they have not remastered.
Yes.
Fans are upset about that.
I'm still working on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Asking for a friend.
Right?
Yeah. Now here's a question for you because we were there's a Star Trek cruise and Nana Visitor harassed us about the Star Trek cruise. So we have to go on the Star Trek cruise next year. Would you ever consider going on those cruises to sell?
Oh my God, absolutely. I mean, I would love to. I would love to.
Yeah.
One, there's a lot of red tape for a Canadian going into the States. I mean, I don't know, once you're on the boat, I think it's like you're in international waters or whatever, and there may be some, but I'm working on being able to actually, go to some conventions in the States and actually do that.
Yeah, that'd be some great networking for you.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Like the cruise seems like the most fun. I mean, I went to STLV last year for the first time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And like I've never had that feeling of sort of walking into a place where I don't know anyone, but I'm home. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah.
We had debated going to Las Vegas for that, and then we got this video sent to us from a listener from Nana, just saying, "Where are you guys?" And we're like, "Well, we guess this has got to happen now."
Yeah, she sent us a video being angry that we're not there karaokeing with her and drinking tequila. So we have no choice.
Yeah, we had no choice.
Yep, that's completely fair. Yeah,
we're going. The three of us grown men are going to be in a 150-foot cabin together.
It's 160.
160.
Listen, that extra 10 square feet is going to be very key.
Did you get a window?
No.
We got a prison cell. We got it
because they're so expensive. Like,
I know.
Like there's no way we could have justified it. And we just figured we'll be out and about the whole time. Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah. If not, we're going to hate each other very quickly.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
It'll be at least a 2-person show here pretty soon.
Yeah.
I've got 8 months to learn how to sleep standing up.
I know, exactly.
Perfect. No problem.
Well, I don't want to keep you much longer, but I want to give you a chance to give a shout out to your website and all that. So,
right on. Yeah. Yeah, so my website, you can find out information about when I am going to be reopening commissions. I have a newsletter you can sign up for that comes out once a month. I refuse to spam people, so it's just literally once a month, just updating what I'm working on, and also will tell you when prints are dropping, because I'm kind of doing that in a slightly more organized fashion these days. Yeah, so that's jennyrjohnson.com.
Okay.
And you can also find me on social media. Most platforms, I'm Jenny R. Johnson Art.
Yeah.
On the artist formerly known as Twitter, I am Jenny R. Johnson.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'm always updating what I'm working on, and I'm putting up time lapses and, you know, like updating the process, because it's really, making art is a very solitary activity.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to, you know, be able to sort of go, hey, this is what I'm working on, and just get some feedback and talk to people. It's really, it's really awesome.
Very cool.
I watched the Instagram if you're listening, and the Instagram is totally worth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a
very
lot.
inclusive. No, it's awesome. It's fun to watch.
Oh, cool. I love that.
It's
That's
fun to go along
great.
the journey of
through
creation through the finished product.
Yeah. And it's fun because, you know, I mean, people are so attached to these shows and these movies, and, you know, especially this Deep Space Nine piece, like, people are so excited about it, especially because Deep Space Nine isn't really well represented.
No,
I agree.
In terms of like merchandise, or, you know, even just within the fandom, like, people love it, but it's still somehow kind of, I don't know, just doesn't
Ignored.
even respect it.
By the higher ups.
Yeah, exactly.
I just thought of an amazing commission for the future. I don't know. You watch all of DS9, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the episode in the Hollow Suites where it was Nana Visitor's body with Quark's head? I just feel like that would be an amazing commission. I don't know. There's just something about that.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
It would be fantastic.
Definitely.
It would be.
2025, Nick.
You could commission it, you know, for a gift for her.
Oh,
She would love that, I'm sure.
sure she would love it.
That's fantastic. Can you get done by February?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for taking your time and meeting with us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank
My
you.
pleasure. Thank you.
Yes. And we will make sure to continue encouraging people to check out your art.
Awesome.
I know we do. And we are very appreciative of your time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you, actually.
Thanks for coming on.
Well, everyone's thankful.
I know.
Well, you have a great rest of the day. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah,
right.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was great.
Jenny's amazing. Amazeballs.
All the art. I loved all the art she had in the background.
Yes.
Like, just, I wanted to like focus on like listening to her, but also to right behind her was the DS9 painting, and I'm like, kept looking at it.
That DS9 painting, man. Ooh.
It's beautiful.
I've seen interviews of her where she'll bring the piece of artwork up close. I was kind of hoping she'd do that with the DS9 one.
Well, I'll probably grab
You
some
didn't
off Instagram and like screenshot and throw it in there too.
Yeah.
You didn't ask.
Especially at the end.
I know I should have asked, right? Yeah. Well, I did bring up, hey, look at that painting in the background.
Yeah.
It would have been awkward to stand up and go grab
I
the
know,
painting.
I'm joking with you.
Jesus
I'm joking.
Christ.
I'm joking.
Amateurs. You guys are amateurs.
But it was so cool.
Oh, you're the consummate professional here. I'm just the comedian.
That was. You're not. You're not. Do you want me? Hold on.
I'm going to manifest this.
Hold on. Sorry, I got to go to listener feedback one more. I know we're not at that part of the show, but I got to go back. I'm sorry. I apologize. The text message said, "Not like Joe is a comic. He is not. I am so sorry for my accidental implication of Joe's humor, quote unquote.
If you're looking for other comedians,
look elsewhere.
And you want to see them in movies, or you want to see them doing stand-up, you could visit Video Exclusive.
Yes, you could.
And you could rent Dumb and Dumber with my fellow comedians. You could rent some George Carlin stand-up, one of my personal heroes and comrades.
Comrades.
Jesus Christ.
What does that even mean?
Vladimir.
But no, go to Video Exclusive. You can rent, buy, anything.
Text it.
What? Text video exclusive.
Text them.
I don't think their landline gets text.
It doesn't matter.
It's worth a shot.
Try it.
You know what? Their number is 734.
Nope,
313.
278.
No, what's our phone number?
Our number?
734 494
494-0980.
Their number is 313-278-4446.
Yeah. So text us if you want to text
And
video.
we'll relay the
exclusive.
message?
Yeah. We're working for them.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's working.
You text us your rentals and we'll get it out to you.
We will.
Eventually.
But one of the reasons why video exclusive is so awesome is because you can get all kinds of physical media there.
All kinds.
And we're going to talk about a great show that is on physical media, Star Trek The Next Generation now.
You could rent the DVDs there.
Yeah.
That's true.
You can rent them. But we're going to talk about 2 episodes today. We're going to review The Measure of a Man and The Dauphin. The Dauphin. So we got Measure of the Man first. Very simple, easy episode. Guy shows up on the Enterprise, says, I want to dissect data so I can make more datas. And Data's like, nah, bro, I don't want that. And the guy says, too bad, you're not real. And Picard has to defend Data before a tribunal, basically saying Data has just as much right to life as anyone else. So Data goes through this defense. Riker is the prosecutor. He does a really good job, but ultimately, in the end, Picard does a better job. And by the end of this episode, Data is given a chance to explore what he is and who he is, because the judge closes with, do I have a soul? I don't know. Does the Data have a soul? I don't know. And because we're saying I don't know, that means I can't rule against this, really.
So you've been a Next Generation fan since the onset, right?
Yes.
Same.
So I learned something yesterday that I had no clue about this particular episode.
Uh-huh.
There's an extended version out there.
Really? With the trial?
With just more longer.
How extended? Like how much more?
I didn't get that answer, but I got to YouTube and saw a couple of the scenes. Like there's a scene where the admiral there is giving Picard advice not to become an admiral, like Kirk did, and obviously Picard ignored him. There was longer scenes that were kind of expanded on. There's one with Data giving LaForge his Sherlock pipe down in engineering, and it looked like a very good scene. There is one with Maddox interrupting Data's farewell little party and even come across as more of a dick, and Worf almost whipping his ass before Riker got involved.
Yeah.
It looks like it was available on the Blu-ray set, the extended Blu-ray set.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you can find it out there, it looks like it's worth the extended version. It looks like it's totally worth it. So I was able to put some of it together, but not as much of it as episode as I would love.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see it in its totality, to see if those scenes really do still fit like the flow of the episode, and they just had to cut for time.
Well, what the video I saw where they cut it out, I'm like, these look like they added value, and I feel bad for the editor having to cut this stuff out.
Yeah, it seems like there's some good scenes. I was just looking at some of those extended editions. I looked on Memory Alpha reading about
and
them.
I was like, this is really cool. I wish on Paramount Plus, the platform for all things Star Trek,
you could watch both.
You could maybe watch both, but I don't run Paramount, so that's probably why it's.
I don't think anybody runs Paramount, Rob.
Yeah.
No, it's a train. It's a cluster right there.
Yes.
You know?
Paramount is a daycare center.
So, getting into this episode, I feel like this is the first true episode of Star Trek The Next Generation to me.
I agree.
Because it just feels like the episode that really gets to the heart of what Star Trek's supposed to be about. Personally.
I'm trying to think of other episodes where I thought it was like
I thought there was one earlier in the season that I thought, okay, this is a glimpse of what Next Generation is to become, and I can't remember it.
Let me go to our ratings. I can find that out right now. Symbiosis was our highest rated season 1 episode. Oh, the Neutral Zone and Conspiracy.
I love Conspiracy, but that's not really what Star Trek's about.
Those were the closest ones, though. I got even 8 to Haven. 5, and a 6. Okay. Sean gave it a 10. Yeah. 7 was the one that we all gave the highest rating to in season 1. Conspiracy, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was just fun to watch things explode.
It's just fun to watch, yeah. And Neutral Zone was pretty decent. So this is the first episode, though, where I'm like, this is a solid, good episode. It holds its pacing pretty well. They have a good antagonist in Maddox.
Douche.
They really played him like a douche the whole episode, didn't they?
They said it one more time. I was going to jump to that TV and choke him out.
I know.
He's a jerk.
And then at the end, he says he.
Yeah.
You know what? I felt like he was a true litigator or politician because when the cameras are on, when things, it's like it. But then when you're done with the day, he's of course.
I was right the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally thought so. I just wanted to win. He did a good job, though. I mean,
yeah, I thought
Brian Brophy is his name.
Who was the woman?
The other captain.
Man,
Yeah,
she loved
Picard.
herself some Picard, though.
Yeah.
She did. But she went for him. She went for his career. She court-martialed
That
him.
was her job, though. Like, Riker had to do his job with Data.
I know. And that was kind of like a nice backstory, like nice side story that really didn't get much focus, was the fact that Riker had to do this thing that he didn't want to do. She had to do this thing that she didn't want to do.
I think she kind of wanted to do it to Picard.
I think she
and
did
at
too.
the end of the episode, Picard realized that, which is why he asked her out to dinner. Like, you're just doing your job, and I got to cut you a
That's
break.
not why he asked for out at the dinner.
Yeah, I know. There was other things going to happen at dinner.
I thought for not being able to dive into the history between Picard and what was her name?
I don't remember, actually.
Let me see if I can find out. Give me a second.
I think for not being able to take time in the episode to dive back into that history, it came across enough to where you're like, okay, there is something here. Like
Philippa Louvet.
Yeah, that's it.
Isn't that the name of the captain in Discovery? The first one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Amanda McBroom was.
You're up to date. I thought you would know.
Yeah. But I thought the history between the two was explored enough to give it context. But
Yeah.
even though that they weren't able to give it much screen time,
They didn't really need to go far into it, but they did it
through dialogue, they were able to give
establish
you
a relationship,
Yeah.
for better words.
Do you want to know an interesting thing about that captain?
Love to.
The Next Generation. She is the writer of the song "The Rose," which Bette Midler sung.
Really?
Some say love, it is a river. Yeah.
Rick, he
Amanda
really needs to
McCrew.
release an album.
He really no. If Nick is a singer, if Nick is a singer, I'm definitely a comedian.
So,
Sir.
So like we mentioned, Joe doesn't appreciate this, but this is the first poker scene in the Next Generation.
I appreciate the poker scene, but I don't understand. I don't understand its context in the grand scheme of
but
things.
O'Brien and Pulaski were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Pulaski wasn't an old bitch.
She wasn't?
No, I don't think
she
so.
wasn't. She wasn't. She
was explaining she was
Yeah.
kind of like explaining
about the idea of fibbing and
the idea of bluffing and
Well,
I
and
thought she was
and
relatively
tolerable, this one.
And I actually
relatively.
love their way they described what poker is. It's not about who has the best hand. It's who's the best liar is really what poker is about. It's not really about cards at all.
Well, it's kind of about the cards.
No, I mean, what did Riker? Riker made a comment about that, like towards the end. He's like, but you didn't have a good hand. And he's like, you're betting on my body language is basically what
You
you're
said
betting.
I was betting.
What was it? Yeah.
He said I was betting that you would fold.
Yeah, exactly. I'm betting on how you're going to bet, essentially.
Poker's a game of information. It's not necessarily a game of cards. I mean, the cards do help you establish some information, but the best poker players in the world can play poker without cards in their hands.
Yeah.
Or without knowing their cards.
Yeah.
It's a game of math. It's a game of information.
Oh, he says something confused. Data doesn't understand how Riker could have won as he has nothing towards a winning hand. But LaForge points out to Data Riker's valid play and that he did win in bluffing Data. So he didn't win in the cards. He won in the bluff.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, fascinating. Good scene.
Poker.
I enjoyed it.
I'm assuming it's going to come up again.
I'm assuming it is.
No.
Data, though, I would feel like Data, after he kind of like gets enough input and information, would just own them always at poker. Always. Because he can basically count cards, man.
Yeah, he can count cards. That's an advantage. And maybe they told him to turn off that because...
I don't know. He can count cards and there's no emotion in him. So you'll never know if he's bluffing or not.
But he said that in the beginning. He's like, poker is a game of played with 52 cards, 21 of which I will know. And he's like outright saying, I'm counting the cards. I know all this information. But again, the game isn't necessarily about the cards.
It's about the emotion behind it.
But I mean, so if you look at the hand, Riker had 4 hearts in front of him, right?
Yeah.
So he's counting that.
Yeah.
Data had 1 heart in his cards. It was a queen of hearts.
He had a flush.
He seemingly had a flush.
Yeah.
If you piece together the cards, the known cards, the unknown, and then the information of his betting habits.
Oh, he had 3 queens as well. He had trip queens.
He had 3 queens. Yes, one of which was a heart.
Yeah.
So, odds are I mean, why would he be betting that if he only had the 4 of them? Because Data doesn't know about bluffing. He doesn't know.
He doesn't
so
get it. But once he does, does that ruin the game? Because now Data's going to win every time.
No, he might not win every time, but he's at least aware of bluffing.
Yeah. Well, it's going to give him a huge advantage, though, because he can calculate in his head, and he can also calculate the odds of them bluffing probably in real time.
He's going to get the analytics of, is this Riker's bluffing turn?
Gray's going to ruin it like they did baseball and basketball. And
well, basketball ruined itself with all the traveling and the
but the analytics.
Analytics, baseball, it's ruined baseball.
Yeah.
It has. I mean, now you get like 15 strikeouts a game with 3 hits, and it's just terrible. It's not the same game.
It's just play.
So, moving on from the poker part of it, the whole trial.
Mm-hmm.
So, normally I get annoyed. Deep Space Nine did this where they're like, oh my gosh, why do you have to have Cisco represent you or whatever? Why can't you get actual attorneys? This one actually made sense. We're short-staffed. There is no such thing out here.
They set it up nicely, yeah.
They set it up nicely. Though, like, do we not know how transporters work? Do we not know how warp works? Can't you just warp?
Well, they said it was far out, so
it's far out, man.
They had the one lonely ensign on staff.
Yeah, exactly. So
why wasn't Maddox the prosecutor? He was a commander, wasn't he?
He was a lieutenant.
Oh.
Was he a lieutenant commander, though?
Maybe he's a lieutenant commander, and so Riker was a commander.
Yeah. The
ranking officer.
She said not ranking officers. Yeah, so the ranking officers have to represent. Riker's defense, where he decides to shut off. He's like, look, Pinocchio strings have been cut. Pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my argument. I could cut your strings real quick by shooting you in the head.
Wow.
And you're shut off?
So Riker...
I mean, I guess I can't turn you back on after I do that, though.
Yeah, you can. Riker's job was to prosecute Data. Sure, he was doing a good job of that. To say that line was probably a little bit too much dedication to the role, Riker.
I know, exactly. You really... Well, but Data has no emotion, so it's not going to hurt him.
Well, didn't Philippa say, like, if I
find out
you're not doing this to the best of your ability, I'll just
is that line come on, man,
Pinocchio is broken. Its strings have been cut. Oof. And then right away Picard's like, I need a recess.
Well, even like
I need to go cry.
I do appreciate it when Riker sat down, he did this.
Like, I can't believe it. I just won this case.
I just fucking nailed it. God damn.
Even earlier when he was researching about Data's physiology.
Yeah.
And he found the information.
And he got excited,
like,
and then
he got excited, and then I really appreciated Jonathan Frakes during that scene, that he was able to pull that off, convey that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I want to say this is one of the best acted episodes by a lot of the cast, actually. Yeah. Because Patrick Stewart did incredible as Jean-Luc in this one. He really portrayed those things really well.
He was full Jean-Luc. I liked it.
Yeah, he was. And he was cocky and arrogant.
There it sits. Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
I do love a good courtroom episode.
Man,
yeah, I know.
Now Next Gen has done it. The courtroom episode in Battlestar Galactica was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, the first season episode, yes.
There was 1 or 2 in DS9. There was 1 or 2 in DS9, I believe, and those were very good. Actually, I just rewatched on Pluto TV, where what was the episode where they it was the Klingon courtroom and O'Brien was being prosecuted. And he was represented by Odo.
Oh, yeah.
And the other...
Yeah.
There was another...
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Anyway, it was very good.
I would say out of the courtroom episodes we've watched, I still rank the Battlestar Galactica one first. This is definitely a second for me. And then the third would be the DS9 one. Because the
Battlestar Galactica was
it was a good hour of television, yeah.
Never heard of it.
Picard though, like at the end where he's like, you see, he's met 2 of the 3 of these criteria. So what if he meets the 3rd? And he's like, what is he then? I don't know. Do you? Like that is a really well done thing. Like
his closing argument, I guess you could say, was really put together really well. And like I said, Patrick Stewart knocked it out of the park.
He did. Yeah.
And you know what? All because of what? A black woman.
Guinan. So here's the thing. Okay.
A woman saves the day again.
Here's something I want to talk about. Actually, there's a trope in film that's and I'm just going to say what it's called. It's called the magical Negro, is what they call it. And it's a black person who comes in who has like this magic that solves everything. And it's actually kind of an insult to the character. Like Legend of Bagger Vance is one of those. Let me.
Billy Madison is one of those. Or Happy Gilmore, actually.
Rest in peace, Stubbs.
So what are some good examples of it? Oh, gosh, now I'm really struggling to think of it.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate your point.
No, I got it. Oda Mae Brown in Ghost. You know, she plays that person. Azim, Morgan Freeman's character in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Prince of Thieves.
Yes,
Prince of Thieves. Bubba Blue in Forrest Gump. Chubbs in Happy Gilmore.
Oh, Chubbs, not Stubbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
Arthur Chaney in Air Bud.
Oh, come on. How dare you sully the good name of Air Bud?
Bagger Vance, the blind seer in Oh Brother, We're Out There. There's a tons of these characters that are viewed as the magical Negro, where it's like the black person comes in and just solves all the problems. And it's actually
I thought they were
where
just
they have
smart.
special insight or powers.
I thought it was Guinan.
I'm just saying, like, this is
she was
actually
just being like insightful.
This is actually like a thing that's been studied, and Guinan is one. Pre-1999, Guinan, Star Trek: The Next Generation. I looked this up on Wikipedia. List of magical Negro occurrences in fiction.
So when they're making that argument, though,
yeah,
if Starfleet views Data as property, they won't view it as slavery if they put all the androids out there. So the argument isn't the best for Picard to portray in trial.
Yeah.
But even it did enlighten him, which I appreciate that part. But in the trial, it's a weak point, because if the argument is if the defense is you have to prove he's not property, it's not a good argument in that case.
Yes.
Which he did bring up, and you saw Flippa kind of go back, but it should have no preference in that case, because the defense is trying to prove he's not property. And that's not a good defense for that.
Right. It's not going to work in this case. Yeah.
But I like that it, like when he said it, and in 10-4, he's like, "You're talking about slavery."
Yeah, but I mean,
and she
basically
just kind of like makes a face at him.
Yep. Well, I wouldn't go that far, and he's like, "I would." And
it kind of is. Right?
Didn't that happen to Picard?
Well, you think about it. Picard they all revolted, right?
Yeah.
The androids revolted, and then they created laws against being able to use them after that, and created all sorts of.
I think I got to go back and watch that now.
No, you don't.
No, okay.
No, you don't.
What season was that?
First
2.
season.
Was it first?
First season.
It was first season. You're right.
Yeah, because there was like a big slaughter on Mars.
One good episode.
That's 2 more than Next Generation, season 1.
That's he's not.
No,
wrong.
we had Neutral Zone and Skin of Evil. I'm just kidding. And Code of Honor. Wait, no.
Skin of Evil because Tasha Yar dies.
Oh, here's the quote from Guinan and Picard. Let me read it. Consider that in the history of many worlds, there have always been disposable creatures. They do the dirty work. They do the work that no one else wants to do because it's too difficult or too hazardous. And an army of Data, all disposable, you don't have to think about their welfare. You don't have to think about how they feel. Whole generations of disposable people. You're talking about slavery. She says, I think that's a little harsh. And he says, I don't think that is. I think that's the truth. But that's a truth that we have skewered behind an easy, comfortable euphemism, property. So, which is, it's really true.
You're right.
And that's the same thing we did in the United States for
You're
hundreds of years. Property, they're not people. They're property. They're property. They're property. They're property. Well, let's go beyond that. Let's look at who they are to determine if they're,
Still blows my mind. And I know it was so long ago, but that was a viewpoint. Just trying to wrap my head around that.
So long ago, but all the at the same time, it's not.
No, you're right.
You can probably go back 3 generations and probably find someone. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get that.
Like who's
but
alive
it just
during the time of slavery.
blows my mind that could be in a mindset.
Yeah.
Clearly, this person's a person, and it just It still blows my mind.
Well, it's so funny. For as far away from that history we get, it's not that far. Like we still live, and like our parents lived in a generation where black people were barred from going to schools with white kids, right?
Or drinking fountains that were
drinking
separate.
fountains and bathrooms, and where hoses were turned on crowds of black people, and they put their dogs. Like, it's incredible to think that we're not separated from that. So, like, that's the one thing I hate about our country right now is we're like, well, we live in a post-racial system. No, we don't. It won't be that way until we've completely, like, there's almost, you have to like get hundreds of years out from it because there's been hundreds of years of damage. It's going to take a long time to recover from the damage done. So, and this even kind of goes with Data, right? And we see this in later Star Treks when they deal with androids. We see this with the hologram and Voyager. Like, is he a person? Is he not a person? And just these debates on what it means to be real or not. It's fascinating.
I'm a real boy. He should have said that.
He should.
I'm a real boy.
I'm a real boy.
I got your Pinocchio right here.
Yeah.
So earlier on in the episode, when he's arguing the property thing to just Picard and Philippa, he says that Data is property because you compare it to the Enterprise computer.
Yeah,
right?
if I wanted to refit the computer,
you won't let him refuse it. So the
Which
computer,
it's not a bad argument to make.
no, but the counter argument for then should have been Data was found by Starfleet officers. Yes, he went through the Cami. Yes, he got through the ranks.
Yeah, they didn't build him.
He chose to go into Starfleet. The computer did not choose to be in the Enterprise.
Yeah, the computer was built.
That would have been a great counter argument. I was kind of a little surprised that, well, obviously we needed an episode.
But wasn't Data built specifically for what he's doing?
No,
or
no. He was found on a planet and put together.
Remember the lore episode?
Right, but so then...
Lore, or basically...
So was he given free will? Or...
Yeah, they gave him the choice if he wanted to go. He chose to go in the Starfleet.
He appreciated the people who found him and put him together, and there's a kind of an admiration there. So that's what he wanted to do. He's inspired by that, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So that's what he chose to do.
Yeah. I enjoyed the final scene between Riker and Data. Riker is just devastated that he was even a part of it.
Yeah.
And Data's basically like, no harm, bro. No harm, no foul.
Well, but the comment of he saved him by having to do that was
by
true.
hurting himself.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great observation, that very insightful. I mean, you had to do this and it brought pain to you ultimately to save me.
But I think, to me, that was another feather in the cap of Data is not just a machine. Like to be able to recognize that and have that sort of empathy is such a human quality.
Yep.
That if he was just the computer, it doesn't compute. You don't get that sort of contextual layered emotional substance. Yes.
So you said human quality, but like one of the arguments I would make is like a Vulcan would still respond the same way. They don't use emotion, right? They don't use those sorts of things. They use logic.
Are Vulcans not property because they have blood?
Well, but like, I guess my point is I don't think emotion should necessarily be the defining point for what life is and what life isn't.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it separates him from being just a straight machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of insight there.
Yeah.
And to your argument, that's something a Vulcan might do too. Spock might say that to Picard or Kirk.
Yeah. See, I don't think a Vulcan wouldn't recognize that. That's just not something that they're going to.
It's illogical that you do that.
Yeah, they would
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they would say, well, that's the logical choice. Yeah. If you were presented with having to defend me or not defending me, and if you don't defend me, then I basically die.
Yeah,
the logical choice is to prosecute me.
Yep, and if he half-assed it, then he would have been
so logically you can get there.
So during the trial, I have a huge issue with something being admissible. When he gave Data the bar and Bennett and Picard's like, there's other species that can do that.
And she's like, I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. How's that relevant?
It's not.
It's not because other species can do it.
He's strong.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Picard should have threw something at her at that point.
Yeah.
I
didn't like that.
I don't get the logic there.
I didn't understand it either.
Either did I. I don't understand the writer's viewpoint on that too.
Nobody touched it either before they gave it to him, so they don't know what it is.
Yeah. It could have been a magic trick.
Yes. Yeah. He's a magician.
Ooh.
All the more reason to put them to death.
God.
Magicians.
Wow.
Charlatans. All of them.
Wow.
No,
Harlots.
That's
I don't
worse
like,
than
they are responsible for a lot of fun in schools.
that's worse than
I don't
anything.
like that.
That's worse than anything I've ever said.
That's what
Magicians should be put to death. It's pretty. They're witches, and what do we do with witches? We burn them. I like to later on they bring up Tasha Yar, and he's like, Tasha Yar and I were intimate, and the judge is like, ooh.
I don't think Tasha would have a problem with you saying it out loud.
Hey, look, I banged that broad. She's, I keep the memory. That's my own personal.
Here's a question.
Yeah, I use that when I'm alone.
This is going to sound immature. I get this, and I don't mean this is immature.
If you've listened to the show before, this should not shock you.
But if this was a HBO version, if this was Discovery version, they'd be like, yeah, so are sex toys. Like I can use a sex toy to be intimate. It doesn't make them alive.
Are sex toys not human to you?
Right. So like that could be a very quick.
Mine has a name, Nick.
Yeah.
She has a name.
I'm just saying, like that argument to me, like we were intimate. Well, not. I mean, you don't have emotion, so you're kind of
So
like
a jackhammer piles at the concrete. So that's my nickname.
I'm just
jackhammer.
Like, and I don't mean it in an immature way. Like, but really,
no, clearly,
no. It's a counterpoint, but maybe they're too evolved for sex toys in the future, and they just
they don't know what
they just go to Ryza
because they all sleep around.
Yeah,
they don't even care.
It's enlightened, man.
They don't even care. Yeah. Whores, all of them.
Magicians, whores, witches.
This episode has it all. Just waiting to the next episode. We get some furries.
Oh,
I know. Anything else from this? I mean, this is a really good episode.
It is a really good episode.
I mean, we could devote a whole review to this, but we can't.
Is this a tentpole episode? Is this a like?
Yeah, people call it one of the best.
This is Star Trek,
like the top
Next Generation,
Next Generation episodes. I would easily.
I'm curious at the end of this where I'll rank it because I do think it like as much as people give it praise. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's that good, but it's still very good. So,
I would agree with you. It's not like edge of your seat.
Yeah. Like if this episode happened in like season 5 or 6, would it be as good, or is it just the fact that it's surrounded by so much dog shit?
Well, especially the next episode.
And we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But yeah, we're already running along. I know we're running along. So
Matter of Honor was before this, so that wasn't a bad episode.
No, it wasn't at all. I thought Matter of Honor was pretty good.
I meant like season 1, like
you
just suffer through season 1. Season 2 has been okay, and now you finally get a decent episode. And you're like, oh my god, this was great.
Because we all during Deep Space Nine season 1 were like, this is good. It's not bad.
Speak for yourself.
But then when we got the duet,
then
we got the duet, and we're like, we can recognize.
Yeah.
Duet
was excellent though.
Yeah.
And it still is excellent going back.
Yeah. So out of all, going back to this, I don't think it's because it's surrounded by crap. I think it's a very good episode.
Ooh, you know what'd be a fun show meeting? You know what'd be a fun thing to do is dedicate a whole episode to our favorite episodes from DS9. Just so one episode is just about one episode of the show.
We should have a brief show meeting after this, actually. So
yeah, we do need to have a brief show meeting.
Am I being fired?
We're breaking up. Let's go to
we're being rebranded as the Cardassians.
Let's go to the dolphin.
Yep.
The dolphin.
Wesley falls in love with a furry. The end.
Yeah.
Like honestly,
I like it.
No,
yep, I like it.
No.
Oh, here he goes.
They're transporting.
He had it.
Yep.
Do
you had the joke. You had it.
No,
it was perfect.
It was perfect where it was.
Wesley falls in love with a furry.
Let him go now.
He's
screwed it. He's screwed
Wesley
it now.
falls in love with a furry. She leaves the ship, and he's sad.
He's a douche at first.
Who?
Is
Wesley.
He? Oh yeah, because he finds out she's a furry.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm not into furries.
Yeah, and
kind of like the character from
the Baby Reindeer.
Baby Reindeer. Yeah.
Yeah, he
just made out with a furry. Man, that was a douche move. I mean, Picard would be so disappointed.
But he didn't know she was a furry.
Well, yeah.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens.
Sometimes you get tricked.
We've all been there, you guys.
Have we?
Yeah.
I don't know. Have we?
Haven't we?
Sure.
But
I like when. Oh, are you done with your?
Summation? That's our summation.
I like when the old lady turned into a hot chick. I thought that was awesome.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
Like, where did she come from?
I want to know more. Yeah, I was like,
why?
This is great.
So why go from the old chick to the hot chick?
Because hold on.
Like
she hadn't changed into a creature yet.
Yeah.
So
it was just a way of showing.
But at first, I was like, did I just not see her correctly in the scenes before? I was like, was she younger and I just thought she was older? Because
I don't know, but she is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, did I miss a third person getting beamed on? Like, how did I miss this? Like, where's the story beat that told us this?
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
I was a little confused myself. And then I was like, oh, wait, that's the other person. But how does she... That's why I thought I saw her. Like, I was like, oh, she must have just been younger. And she was like dressed older or something.
Yeah.
And then she turned into the creature. And I was like, oh, I see.
This is her today. So,
she's good for her.
Yeah.
1989 version of her is
gorgeous.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Who is it?
I mean, who's gorgeous 30 years later?
Look at me.
Madchen Amek.
Nailed it.
Thank you. So yeah, that was kind of weird though, but I think it was a way to set the grounds for these are people who can shapeshift and blah, 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 blah.
I still want a story reason.
Yeah. Why are we randomly bringing on
it was
bringing her
weird.
back as an attractive
It's
woman?
like one of the producers probably owed this person's agent something.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, we'll splice her in here. We'll put no court story context whatsoever.
She's just here.
We'll confuse everybody watching the show because
It's like a showrunner's niece or something.
We're not even going to address it afterwards. We're just going to be like, it happened.
My niece is like an up-and-coming actress. You're like, all right, we can fit her in here.
Yeah, and some podcast 40 years later is going to be like, what happened? That's why we did it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some fun things, though, in this episode that I wish they would have gone into more. So the whole point is she's going to go to this planet, and she's bringing peace to this planet.
Mm-hmm.
I think a cool note is it's a tidally locked planet, and they have one side that dwells in day and one side that dwells in night constantly, and that's been the cause of the war. I want to know more about that. That's fascinating to me, right?
Like, both sides are like, they're causing it to be night all the time.
Right.
And the other one's like, it's daylight all the time because of those darkies.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine the racism in that community?
Oh my God.
Holy crap. We have enough problems in our world because of melatonin in our skin. Imagine what it's like on a tidally locked planet when you're a furry.
You sunny bitch.
I don't want to hear it from you.
You light-loving bastard.
Go put on more sunscreen, you piece of crap.
Yeah, go put your sunglasses on.
Go look at yourself in the dark. Oh, wait, you can't.
You can't. Okay.
Your electric bills are crazy, light, darky.
So what is our... What are we supposed to... Are we supposed to...
There's a drop.
Yeah, I'm glad people will know what we're talking about this moment.
Yeah.
What is the age of this woman supposed to be? You think? Do you think she's supposed to be a teenager just like
I
Wesley?
think she's supposed to be like 20.
Okay, what is
just
Wesley
to make it feel
to
better for me, I'm going to say she's 20.
What do you think Wesley's supposed to be? Like 15?
I think it's supposed to be.
Or you
it's not like 16.
Well, because Jordy's all like, your hormones or what did he say?
Yeah.
Your glands are flaring.
You're going through the changes, buddy.
So what is he, like
is he
15,
12?
16?
So
no, I can't believe 12.
He's just going through puberty for the love of God.
He's a late bloomer.
He's a late, yeah.
Okay.
You know what I kept thinking?
Huh.
If there's all these attractive women that Wesley's like fawning over, I would not want to be stuck in a onesie like that.
That's a good point, man.
That's always.
I kept thinking like,
I need a hollow pad stat.
He's got to have like ironclad underwear on or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
or he's gay.
Gay? No, he's got like a corset wrapped around real tight.
No, he's always carrying a pad, and that's what he's doing with it.
I think he's strapped like a mummy, just like really tight, like really tight.
I don't know. Poor Wesley, though. That's got to be tough. Here's the thing: that ship is full of very attractive.
I would not want to be.
Come on, he works on the bridge with Deanna Troi. She wears a onesie to work.
I would not want to be like a teenager going through puberty and wearing that onesie every day.
Here's the
You're
worst.
just like, I got.
Well, what
where's
about
Wesley?
Hold on. What about Riker? Riker's a walking hard on.
I know.
But here's the thing: they're living in this time where humans are enlightened and they don't allow their base instincts to take over. So like.
They just don't get boners?
No. They would see it and they'd be like, "Oh, Wesley, that's a good one today." And he's like, "Thank you, thank you." You're very attractive in that outfit today.
I do like how Okay, so they've tamed down the horn dog Riker, and they've tamed down like Wesley the Wonder Kid in season 2.
A lot.
They dumbed him up in this episode.
Yeah,
he was.
He was like, me have me have boner. Can't do work. Like
me blue ball.
I'm poking this with the wrong thing.
It goes in the hole.
But I did appreciate that. Excuse me. As soon as the girl and the mom, or I'm just gonna call her the mom for now, came on the ship, and he saw that the girl was attractive, he's like, I can give you a tour.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
We can give you a tour of the ship. You want that? Yeah. Is that something that would interest you?
I got you. I can do whatever you want.
Whatever you need.
Just tell me where. Tell me when. I'm there.
If only Riker had seen the mom turn into the hot girl, though.
He would have been on.
Riker would have been like, they could stay forever.
We got this.
I like when Riker and Guinan are in the 10 Ford talking to each other, and she's like, "Shut up, kid." I was like,
I know.
That's one of the best lines.
We almost had another "Shut up, Wesley" moment.
I know.
Can we talk about how great it was when in the freaking hospital, sick bay, where the lady comes in and she's like, "Oh, he could be contagious. Kill him."
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Very different.
I thought that was reasonable.
And
who else was hoping that Pulaski would take a slash across the face?
Oh my gosh. And then you're a guest on this ship and you're like, okay, if you're not going to do it, I'm just going to start killing people on your ship. And
kill him.
She turns into a Yeti. And I don't think you were ready for that Yeti.
No.
So she transforms.
Was that the first time? Was that the first time? Or no,
that was the first transformation.
No, it wasn't, because she turned into a little person, a little furry one.
Yeah, a little furry.
But I didn't. That was the first time it was big and threatening,
an
and I was
adorable,
like,
cuddly furry.
Yeah, it's not the Ewoks anymore.
They're into all kinds.
I know.
So
Star Wars reference.
Look at you.
I know.
Of all the scary creatures to turn into, though, why would you turn into that one? I feel like there's
scary.
Well, she probably read it as a story and as a child, and saw this furry, and she's like, "I'm into this," and that's what she went into.
That's how they all start.
Yeah.
I love how the sick patient's name was Hennessy, by the way.
I want some Hennessy.
So they lock them in their quarters. Picard says, "Stay away from her. You're a horn dog. You're not allowed to be with her." And what happens?
She seeks him out, though. He did stay away from her.
He did stay away from her. He did stay away, but she gets to him. Here's my thing. She
saw him in that onesie.
She's exactly.
Yeah. She's like, "What's going on down there?" Oh.
So she gets to kiss him. Then it's a fur off. And nobody,
there's hair flying everywhere.
Nobody wins in a Furby off. It's not furries. You're screwed. You're screwed. And Wesley's like, I want nothing to do with you after this.
Racist,
bro. First of all, do you realize she's a shapeshifter? The things she could do to you, the things Odo did to Nana.
Yeah, to Kira.
To Kira. Not to, oh gosh.
To Kira.
Oh gosh. Sorry, Nana. The things
She's
Odo
not coming
did
on the
to
show
Kira.
again.
She listens, guys.
The things Odo did to Kira, right?
Of course.
So Wesley, rookie mistake, man.
He is a rookie. He's like 15.
I know. You could have been in for a world of pleasure.
He's probably had single-digit boners his entire life.
And now...
Well, you just argued he was on the ship having massive boners everywhere.
No, I said I would not want to be his age walking around in a onesie.
I feel bad for the holodeck and that kid going in there.
My gosh, can you imagine
the cleanup crew?
Those biofilters? Oh dear.
Yeah.
They may have an episode about that in Lower Decks. It's pretty funny. Yeah. Cleaning out the biofilters. Oh dear. Oh dear.
So you're saying you'd want a shapeshifter?
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea, is it?
No, I mean it could.
Ooh,
it could meet your every need.
So that would be an interest. So this speaks for a future where humans are not attracted to any gender, because you have shapeshifters around who can be anything you want. So why would you be if Rob could shapeshift into the most attractive women in the world, man,
I wouldn't leave the room, actually.
I'm gonna rethink my feelings for Rob real quick.
But that's a gender. You're shapeshifting into a specific gender.
Yeah, but you're still at heart. You're still.
But you could shapeshift.
No, shapeshifters are.
Well, then again, that shapeshifter was pure energy, right?
Yeah, it's not. That's not
you
a.
Can't visualize what we are.
That shapeshifter wasn't Rob in the first place. It's just energy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're talking about doing me.
I don't know. It's just an interesting discussion.
When you were like, why would you pick a certain gender? I'm like, have you ever seen a naked woman? That's why.
Yes.
There's plenty of people who could be gay men or women saying, yeah,
I'm speaking
and
from.
I'm not interested.
I'm speaking for me.
You're speaking from a cisgender hetero man?
All that.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Hey, that's proven in court.
There's a lot of baiting on this show. All right. Anything else from this
we are
episode?
Dating if it's true.
We are masters at it.
Oh my gosh.
We are master
Oh,
baiters.
we didn't even talk about the greatest scene in this. When Wesley's walking around getting advice on how to talk to women, and he goes to Worf. And so you want me to go and scream at her? He's like, no, that's what the women do.
That's what the women do.
And Worf is getting an erection right there at the.
It's like the men read poetry.
That was one of the funniest scenes I think that they've had so far.
Worf was getting worked up.
Yeah, he was.
Because when he gets worked up, if you notice
that grin.
he's got that grin and almost like a lisp, like his teeth. It's just like
I gotta imagine. And you might appreciate this, Joe. Being with a Klingon woman would be wild.
I would not be interested in that at all. I'd be
what? Why?
Oh, because I value having all my parts attached.
No, it's not even that. It's just like the aggressiveness of it all.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No,
scared.
Yeah, that's a hard yes for me.
Scared.
a very hard yes.
Yes,
I'm scared.
It's a rigid yes.
I don't know what to do now. If it's
You don't have-
Jadzia
you don't-
Dax,
Hey, you don't have to do anything. Just
that's the worst
Sit there
part.
and take it.
Yeah.
Is it like Stockholm syndrome?
Let's be honest. Nick would just sit there and take. Like if you were with a Klingon woman, you wouldn't have to be worried about matching her aggression. You would just sit there and take it.
Oh gosh, I'd be crying the whole time.
You'd be the first. You'd be the first cuck in like just a one-on-one situation. You'd be like, somehow I'm active.
What are you doing to me?
Somehow I'm actively participating.
Why does this hurt and feel good?
somehow I'm actively participating and a cuck at the same time.
Oh, this is terrible.
I don't want to hear Nick's sex sounds after that.
Oh. All right, we got a rating these episodes. The measure of a man.
Ooh, you
Measure
are
of a man
as a married
is a
man.
10.
That is a married man.
The measure of a man.
It's at least 10 inches. I mean, hold
Uh,
You know, this goes back to the discussion we just had. This is a good episode. Is it a great episode?
what measure of a man?
Yeah. I don't know if it's great. I don't know if but it's good. I don't know.
I've been wrestling with this decision since I watched it last night.
I think it's great minus.
I was going to say that.
I think good plus is like it's too good to be good plus, but it's great minus.
So what's a great minus to? Because for me, this is an 8.5.
That's exactly what I was going to do. 8.5 I think is very fair. I think anything less than an 8.5 is doing it a disservice. I think anything more is overvaluing it.
You're going to give it like a 7?
I was thinking 7.5.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
That's why as soon as you were saying that, I was laughing, going,
oh dear.
I debated a 7 for a long time, but again, we talk, and sometimes things go up or they go down.
Yeah, it happens when people talk to me.
Speaking of up and down, furry episode, the dolphin.
This 6.9. Kidding.
This is like a. I don't want to. This isn't a bad episode.
No, it's not. It's not season 1.
It's not good.
Yeah, I'm like.
This is it. To me, this is if season 2 did an impression of season 1.
But
like, this is what the episode would be.
There was the wharf and the scene. There was some good scenes in this one, though.
I'll go 5.5.
Oh, really?
I was thinking 5.
I was thinking 5. All right. Well,
I thought there was enough. There was enough comedy. There was enough diversity in like. I don't know. It wasn't bad. It was just there.
It was there.
Real quick, I want to say a thank you. On this week's episode of Talk Punch, they gave us a little bit of love there.
Yeah.
Brody from the show said he listens every week and just gave us a little bit of love, and actually said he enjoys this crap. So
Probably
wait until he hears my sound.
I know.
Probably my comedy.
Hey, Brody, you should get that as a drop on your show.
It hurts so good.
So thanks for listening, and I think Talk Punch is awesome. So give them a listen too.
I agree. Yeah. They were great.
Yeah.
And it sounded like the other two guys were, when he mentioned, he was like, speaking of shows I watch on YouTube every week, and he mentioned our shows, the other two guys were like, yes.
Ah, yes.
So maybe we have 3 listeners? Is it possible?
We at least have 5 total.
Oh yeah, so we have the 3 from Talk Punch. We have
the people that text
Samira,
yeah,
and then the Joker, that numbskull, whoever
Sympathy listens to us.
Sympathy.
Oh, she Sympathy listens. Yeah. It's kind of like she actually. So the other day, real quick, she's like, "Yeah, I started listening to your episode, and Joe was going on a rant about something, and I got out of the car, and I came back, and the episode was over." And she's like, "I could have went back and listened to it, but I figured I already got your review, so I was over the episode."
Hey, what was I ranting about? She didn't want to hear more of the rant.
I don't know what it was about. I mean, you ran a lot.
I do rant a lot.
You do.
Yeah. I'm quickly becoming like just a rant, just a
rantaholic.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we got to have like a Joe's rants for the day. Like a.
What do you want me to rant on? The food? Do you want me to rant on the food thing I was telling you guys about earlier?
No, well, not this episode, but maybe next week. Okay. We'll create. You know what? You know what I'm gonna. You know what we need to do is get together all your rants, clip them together, put some music over it, so when we start the spot, it's like, you know what I can't stand. You know what it drives me nuts? STDs, STIs.
No, STIs drive me nuts. STDs are great.
No, they're not great.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Treatable. They're treatable.
Yeah,
they're not. Listen, STDs are not a death sentence. Don't cast these people off into the shadows.
There's still hope for them.
Yes, they can still live a very long, promising, and promiscuous life.
Speaking of long, promising, and promiscuous lives, we have to go.
Oh yeah,
because we have lives to lead. But
we
ladies
have
and
lots
gentlemen,
of promiscuousing to do.
It's been fun. It's been a joy. And next week we're going to review 2 episodes: The Contagion and The Royale.
With cheese.
Royale with cheese. Oh wow, that came in hot. Oh, I played the wrong music today. Normally we play the other music. That's okay.
From who? Cole.
From Cole.
Yeah.
Cole, well, you'll be back next week, Brady. Sorry about that.
Plug Cole while you're mentioning him.
Huh?
Cole.
Yeah, Cole, text in and tell me I'm funny.
Beautiful Cole. You ever see Mr. Holland's Opus?
Yes.
It's a great movie.
I know.
All right.
You're murdering it, as you do everything else.
Thank you. I'm going to go murder. I don't know.
Hold on. I'm going to go murder that ass.
Yes. It was great to keep up with you all.
I love Nick's roll.
This was Nick, Joe, and Rob.
Oh, no, so now you're speaking for us.
Yeah.
This was Nick, Jonas, and Rob.
You've lost that privilege. It's been great. Thanks for keeping up with us. Have a good one. Bye.